morning, everybody. Welcome to a marvelous Monday. And, of course, the all-new 60-minute daily. That's right. We're here live for you. If you're watching us in beautiful portrait mode, you have the chat on the bottom, a dancing wizard in the middle, and, of course, Tom Holland and his terrible films at the top. If you're just watching us on regular landscape mode, well, you just get Tom Holland and a viewer count that will continue to grow. The new start time continues, and Midnight's Edge in the morning is coming up next. As Ms. Pick Coffee says on the green machine, stay put. The redirects are in place. If you're on the tube side, you get magically mailed over to That Park Place Live, and if you want to see me over on Midnight's Edge with the box office, I will be there, and then over on That Park Place. All right, let's pop into a good morning. Walter Tomaszewski says, why is Nolan's film doing so well? The way some conservatives say, go woke, go broke, I would have thought that the dictum would have applied here. Why is this movie the exception? Well, you're always going to have one. I would say the exception is because it is Christopher Nolan, and people are slavishly addicted to what he produces. Usually, it's of good quality, but lately, I don't know. I've seen some faults there. The third Batman movie that he put together, for example, wasn't one of my faves, but that's okay. Not everything has to be my favorite. I don't know about you, but should be fine. Who else is out there? We got the lovely Jill Powers out there as well. Good morning, dear. Thank you for doing the amazing work you do as a moderator. We've got Leif Erickson. Hello. And Juliet. Hello. By the way, sometimes the exception proves the rule. I don't think they'll be able to get away with it again, although they're trying to do it with Marvel, which was bad news in Hall H, and we might get around to talking about that in a little bit of bonus time. Again, 60 minutes is the normal length of this show. It starts with a 6-minute preview of the news, followed by a conversation with you about the events of the day and other subject matter, like Cat Slave. What's going on, Cat Slave? Over on the green machine, we have the beautiful Deeple. We also have Crazy White Boy and Caledon 910, everybody's favorite radio station. I don't know why I get that stuck in my head. Davina Duckworth is here. Good morning. We got the lovely ladies out there. There's a ton of lovely ladies. Scott Shook is here as well. Morning, all. Good morning, Scott. And, of course, Ms. Pick Coffee, who says good morning to everybody. That's right. Oh, it's going to be a good day. I can feel it already. How about you? You guys feel that? Feels good. Putin 3! Ah, ha, 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 ha. Culture's grumpy. I am not grumpy. I'm very happy. I'm not even... if I were going to be any dwarf, it wouldn't be grumpy. Not anyway. For whatever reason, though, I'm very red today. I've changed the lighting. Maybe I need to work on that. Let's try it. Ooh, this. Hey, there's me. Back in regular mode. Let's see if I can line myself up on the camera. There we go. All right, we're back. Okay, who else is out there? We've got lots of great people out there. A few other folks rolling through the door. Like I said, the beautiful Deeple is here. And JPRPH1. Howdy, folks. Hello. JPRPH1. Oh, it's gonna be good, guys. I'm really excited. I really am. Georgia Peach is here. Good to see you, dear. Thanks for being here. We've got Barry the Music Man. Morning Culture Crew. That's right. Chameleon. Coffee. Sip of coffee for the working man. The rest of the day is water. Mags London is out there. Afternoon, all. Well, good to see you, Mags. I hope everything's going well, dear, across the pond. Cloud Sailing is joining us. Hello. Hi, all. Hello to you, Cloud. And let's see. A few other folks popping in. Eric C. Hello. Good morning. That's right. Carl Singh. Good morning to you. Did you guys see today's video? It was a lot of fun. Talking about the box office and a little bit of deviation. That's the right word. From what I expected. The Cracker Barrel CEO is stepping down. No way. You mean the lady who single-handedly destroyed that entity? That's 2 entities she's destroyed. Because guess what? Nobody's saying Yo Quiero Taco Bell anymore. Oh, boy. Never bring her in. That is a destructive force in the universe, the likes of which a 6-minute preview starts now. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, wherever you are and whenever you're watching. Thanks for checking out the 6-Minute Daily. We have a lot to talk about, not a lot of time to do it in. So we get to the 6-minute preview, talking about the record for Christopher Nolan. Well, not really. Adjusted for inflation, that's a lie, that's a lie, that's a lie, lie. That's what the media does, is lie. Adjusted for inflation, though, it would not best The Dark Knight, but The Dark Knight would be fine. It would still be ahead of everything else, and it's okay. They're just trying to make this a bigger deal than it is, and it's a big deal as it is, with an $87 million second weekend and only a 30% drop. Something notable, but, you know, don't get too excited about it. Don't get too excited about the MCU either, because Black Panther 3 gets David Johnson, who I think is awesome, playing T'Challa's son. That December 2028 release came a little prematurely, I think, because I don't know how much longer Kevin Feige is going to be around. We've got Christopher Nolan saying that he would be terrified to direct a romantic comedy. Yeah, I can't imagine him doing one. He really didn't give you that in The Prestige, nor did he give it in anything else he's ever produced. He really is bad with relationships. The women usually end up dead. We got Ryan Gosling unveiled as Ghost Rider at the Marvel's Comic-Con panel in Hall H, which was a complete disaster. Go watch Film Threat's video on the matter. I've got to tell you right now, I'm not really hyped up about the MCU. I think it's going to be a dismal failure, and yet I still have to go and cover the D23 Expo event, which they're going to try to sell us as something interesting. Interesting indeed. Avengers Doomsday Trailer is rocking Comic-Con, according to Variety. I don't know if that's true. I mean, it came out. We saw it. It was non-inspired. Doom raises an army of Sentinels to take down Avengers, and this is exactly what we predicted would be the plot. You're going to get Avengers, Fantastic Four, X-Men, multiple teams taking on, well, the bad guys, and ultimately we end up in a place I don't care about. And again, thank you, TVA, and jumping ahead 40 years to get to the end. And it is the end, because we now have Deadpool crying for a space in it. That's right, crashing Comic-Con to beg for Avengers Doomsday role. I don't know about that. I think Ryan Reynolds is probably a good representative of his own team. Maybe this is part of the marketing. I don't know. But if not, well, I think you'll still get it anyway. Transformers, the movie, getting a full theatrical re-release from Hasbro and Fathom. That's coming up soon. That came out this weekend as well. You can see it on September 17th in theaters. You've got Pinocchio Unstrung out there in theaters. The early review on this is about the killer puppetry is the best thing about the puppet slasher. It's Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey director Reese Frake Waterfield that is returning for a twisted take on the puppetry. Can't wait for this. I don't know about you. Hudson Williams and Carrie-Anne Moss are set to star in equal parts steamy and spooky Yaga teaser. Well, I'm looking forward to this. Both of these people are quite capable, and I am looking forward to more and more horror films because it's really all there is. I've got a review coming out about a 80s style horror film that I found to be quite amusing, fun, and a throwback to the things that we used to call slasher films that were, B grade at best. We'll talk about that in the review. Tom Holland admits some of his movies were quite poo, and they were hard to promote because they were poo. Well, yeah, you did make some poo movies. Yeah. Not even Winnie the Pooh. Box office. There we go. Box office. Toy Story 5 crosses $1 billion, becoming the highest grossing movie of the year. Really? Did it beat Galaxy? Interesting. It may have. I don't know. We'll find out. We've got Warner Brothers suing Amazon, accusing the company of seeking to steal away or pirate away their employees. Well, yeah, of course. And those employees are going to be, looking for work anyway. Because let's face it, when Paramount Skydance acquires Warner Brothers Discovery, there's going to be some overlap. So, how do you get rid of middle management? Send them off to someone else. Sip of coffee for the working man. Now the real news. Forced labor crackdown or an end run around Congress. That's right. Trump's new tariffs are addressing forced labor, or at least that's what they say. The, people on the left, including the AP, the most leftist news organization out there next to Reuters, is making a claim that it's an end run on Congress. Shut up. U.S. and Iran paused their attacks after days of escalation. In fact, there were no attacks the last couple of days. That's a good thing. Perhaps Iran will, quit. That'd be good. Just stop trying to kill the rest of the world. Then the rest of the world might like you. Americans rewire their grocery shopping routines while diagnosing the biggest price jump in 50 years. Again, it's all price gouging caused by fuel price gouging. We provide all of our own fuel. Plus, so why are we paying premium at the pumps? We need the federal government to ask that question, like now. The rockets and feathers effect. Inflation eases, but grocery prices do not, and they should, because it's going to cost less and less to transport things. And finally, our bear story in the last 15 seconds. The Lake Tahoe, is surrounded by pantry-raiding, toothpaste-sniffing beasts. The bears have come to Lake Tahoe in a big way. Stop leaving your garbage at the curb, and stop getting your houses broken into. And that's it for today's 6-Minute Daily. Hopefully you enjoyed today's show. We'll get moving on to the next thing with the replacement of the credits segment. The next 3 minutes are going to be me, the credits, and you. And then we'll go on to bonus time, so stick around. Here we go. That's right. We got a new piece of music, too. I like this one. Yeah. Coming up soon, the people who make this channel run. Part of the now growing to 1,000 membership base that, we absolutely need here. And I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you who are a part of it. You are phenomenal. All right, let's get the names up here. There they are. Thanks to the amazing members. These are all the rewards members. That's right. For the price or less than a price of a cup of coffee, you can support this channel in its pursuit of 1,000 members, 50,000 subscribers, and its epic growth through the end of the year. That's right. If we get to the end of the summer with 50K, that's going to be a big thing. It's going to be a big day. Look at all these great people. We got Lisa D1. Look at it. It's like people. React Attack. That's Ord's board. We've got so many people out there, including Clever Fish, Cynthia Carter, Kevin, and so many more. Angela Straven is out there. My goodness. I haven't seen Angela's in a minute. Catzilla is in the house. We got Joe's Atmosphere. Hopefully things start to go better for him. Pray for him and his family. He just lost his mother. Look at these people. Amazing. Everybody's here. Pete, Michael Pete, Barry the Music Man, Critical Masterpiece, Taters. Come on now. Gotta love Taters. Dan Funk. Love Dan Funk. Bonita Beach. Look at all these lovely ladies in here as well. This is so great. So wonderful. DFW Cowboy. Look at that. A classy vigilante. Oh, we like those. Russ Griggs, what's up? John Hutch. Bookstore Thor. My pal. One of the great writers over on That Park Place. You can find his writings there every single day, it seems. And that's a good thing, as far as I'm concerned. I don't know about the rest of you. But let's see what we got here. Hey, would it matter? You guys matter. I just want you to know that. Wow. Look at all these people. These are July. We're getting there, folks. Almost 700 of you are in the membership. We're closing in on that magical 1,000, which makes this channel pay for itself. Finally. Livy Priest, it's great to see you, dear. Hope you're doing well. We've got John the Beagle Dad saying, hello, El Skeletor. I'm excited that you're excited, Culture. I'm always excited. There's a lot of good things to see in the future, friends. Very excited about a lot of the potential of films and horror films. Snort Poopus Q Burr, our favorite polar bear, Martin Stone, Lee Kindler, and Eric K. Look at all these great people. My goodness. Cat Slave is late, but that's okay. We got Longest Parsec in the audience. We've got Gold Club members now. The Crazy Coffee Lady, Dean Krantz, and Tony Piacente. Look at all these wonderful people. Randall Orser, part of the Canadian Brigade along with J.K., O.C. Dobbins, Scott Westbrook, and the High Rollers coming in with 6, Morgan King, Captain Fandom Nerd, and of course, Mexican Iron Man, and many, many more. And you guys are the difference. Will it matter then? Of course it will. You guys all matter. Davina's even in there. You guys see Davina's name? I did. So we've made it officially to boneless time. That's right. There is no bone in this meat. It's going to be a good day. Look, there are a lot of stories to talk about. There just are. And there is a lot of failure out there. DC has to officially admit failure with what happened to Supergirl. Supergirl is the biggest mistake. Oftentimes, it's usually a guy for a lot of ladies is their biggest mistake. But I'm just going to tell you, Supergirl was DC's biggest mistake, and it will ultimately be the thing that people point at that cost James Gunn his job. Let's be honest about it. That law is out there. I saw WG Actual in the house, who's been here for a long, long time. Great to see you. And I appreciate that level of support. He drops a $10 super duper chat, a super chat for culture, because rainy days and Mondays always get him down. Yeah, that was not even close to the right notes. Rainy days and Mondays always get me down. That's right. Thank you for the $10 super duper chat, my friend, my pal, my buddy, WG. And you know what? Tonight, I may make an appearance over on Comics Division, at least for a little while. Probably about a half an hour until I have to take my medication. Speaking of great people, here's a great one. Ruby Hoove gifting a Culture Casino membership. Another person for the price of a cup of coffee. So much appreciated. Y'all are the best around. I think I saw Old Gamester in the house. And Old Gamester falls off with Old Gamer comes in with a super gifty. That's right. Gifting a Culture Casino membership. Thank you, Old Gamer 72 Cutlass, which is a classic car. I wish I had one. They're amazing. They're basically steel. Yeah. It's kind of like Chucky. That horror movie is going to be good. I'm really excited about it. I don't know about the rest of you, but I like a little horror film here and there. Ruby Hoove, celebrating 27 months of being a member here. Have a great one, Culture and Culturians. Like, subscribe, and share. Always. In fact, look down there. There should be an option for you to put a thumbs up on this at the very least, and make sure you're still subscribed. You know, somebody was angry with me in the chat, or in the comments of one of the videos this weekend. I think it was Friday's video I dropped about the preview of the weekend. And you know what? My preview was not 100% accurate, but it wasn't terribly wrong. It just, I thought it would fall about 40%, and yet it only fell 30%. That's crazy. Nothing has a hold like that, but it does have all the premium theaters, which are charging premium prices. The average premium price for a PLF is $23, guys, and that's not counting fees. So if you're paying $25 to go see a movie per person, even if there's fewer butts in the seats, you're going to make plenty of money. And I think that's going to be the tail of the tape when we get to the final finish line for the Odyssey. Will it cross $1 billion? Maybe. Do I care? Not as much as you'd think. But what I do know is that a victory lap is being taken against the quote-unquote the Chuds. And they think that they're owning the Chuds with one film out of 40 that have failed. No, that's an outlier. That's the exception to the rule. So, yeah, go pound sand. And what's really funny is Supergirl himself. What's his name? Jose Vargas. Joe Vargas, Angry Joe. No way, Jose. He's really got his feathers ruffled because not even directing their comments at him, he's going after the FNT folks and many of my friends, even Yellow Flash, which is dumb with a B. Dumb with a B. You guys, I don't know what to think. So many Marvel news given during this year's San Diego Comic-Con: Black Panther 3, Ghost Rider in the MCU, Vision Quest, last run for Wanda Maximoff, and Deadpool. Yeah, I think we're finally going to be done, and that'll be good. We need more original movies is the goal there. Yeah, Tom Holland was pushed on us as the next big action star, and he doesn't have the body or the build for it. He's not an action star. He is the permanent teenager. It's an adult playing a kid, which I think is an issue. Speaking of amazing people, not an issue, is the incredible Scott Westbrook, who has been here forever, a supporter of me on this channel and many others. Scott with 5 CultureCasino memberships. We have to play a thank you message. You guys, there are so many of you out there with WG Actual, Ruby Hoove, and of course, Scott Westbrook, and many more. I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. We got another gifty out there from Old Gamer Cutlass, 72 Cutlass. So we're going to say thanks for the cheddar. Let's do that now.
Oh, man. That's some sweet cheddar. Guys. Yeah.
I am working on some new clips, and I did get some new ones from our friends over on the puppet side of the equation, so be on the lookout for those. Plus, I've got one I'm working on with me saying, gifty. Very reminiscent of the old days. I'm 10 minutes behind on comments, so if I missed you, it wasn't on purpose. I just got to scroll to be closer to catch up. Oh, wow. And just say thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Texas 84 being incredibly generous as well. Thank you so very much with 5 CultureCasino memberships. Let's drop another clippy. All right. For the gifty.
Wow. It's generous. I don't really get that kind of money, but glad you do. So, thanks.
In fact, thanks very, very much. Green Grumpy Broccoli Guy says thanks. So do I. And Tim Hayes, what's up, Timmy? Timmy, Commander Ed Straker is Shadow, who's commented on every video I've put out in the last 2 weeks. Thank you, my friend. Look at all these names going green, courtesy of Texas 84. It's actually 8412, but I shorten it. I hope that's okay. Plus, you know, we all like propane, don't we? And El Skeletor knows the reference. Toasty. That's right. Yeah. Gifty. All right. Anyway, we'll get her done. Get her done. Caledon 910. Good to see you, friend. I've got so many folks out there. It's so wonderful to see you all. And, of course, you know, the people who have to travel across an ocean. And there are a lot of you that watch in the afternoon in the UK or across the pond somewhere. I just want to say thanks. And especially to Juliet, who moderates everything everywhere all the time. I feel like she needs her own movie. Maybe I'm wrong. All right, what else do we got? Well, let's talk a little bit of bonus time stuff. Let's jump into it, shall we? Supergirl. Supergirl was a massive failure. Don't let anybody lie to you. Would I lie to you? Nah, there's no money in it. So, there we go. This is from Bam Smash Pow, saying that DC officially admits defeat after Supergirl box office failure. Yeah, normally the shill outlets don't do stuff like this. They normally say nothing but positive stuff. But it found itself once again putting itself together for the wrong reason. The James Gunn reason, which wasn't a good one. And look, it's bad. It's bad for films to fail this badly. This film didn't even meet the same level as the other girl power film released by the MCU. The Marvels. In fact, at $124.475 million, this thing is going to lose well over $100 million, probably closer to $150 million. Mind you, the studio only gets half this split. What's half of 125 million? It's not enough. And that's the problem, right? James Gunn is released a middling Superman film and then did this and somehow is going to put a body horror villain film together without its primary protagonist character. Why? Let's raid the pantry of our villains, but not put a hero in place. For Clayface, if you didn't know, that's what I was referring to. This film died a quick death. It was basically already headed to theaters in a month. 1 month. It made it a month. Its opening weekend was sad, ranking second on its very own opening weekend at $37 million. I remember I had to go see this. I reviewed this film. It was not good. The second weekend had a terrible performance, $8 million, dropping 77%. The third weekend was $3.7 million. These are weekend totals, guys, for domestic. That's not good. You had $1.475 million, dropping another 61% in its fourth weekend. And by the time you get to the last weekend, this weekend that we just passed, 1,572 theaters made $630,000. This is not good. And as you look at the day-to-days, it never was good. In fact, if it didn't benefit from the preview day, that Friday would have looked lousy. This was the biggest disaster for DC that they could have imagined. Look at these numbers as they dwindle down. The per-screen theater averages are downright embarrassing, including on July 4th weekend. On July 4th, it made $696. Yeah, not good. But we're not done. It's coming home this weekend. Good news, right? You know, Hall H was abuzz with the Marvels, with the Marvel stuff, but it's not abuzz with James Gunn stuff. So if you want to buy this on Tuesday, it's going to be available. You can get a physical copy. That's right. In 1 minute of reading time, Gizmodo says, here's something you might not have known during such a packed news-heavy weekend. Supergirl is getting a digital release in a few days, and then you can go find it on disc. The physical release is in September. Might want to wait till September. Remember, physical media is something that they're going to commoditize in a way that exploits us. So let's collect it. Shall we? We shall. Look, the review for Supergirl wasn't good, even from like the Iowa State Daily. Of course, I reached out and got anything that was news on this subject. This is from July 26th, talking about it barely crossing the finish line. Well, yeah, it didn't even. It didn't make profit. That's the finish line as far as I'm concerned. And when you look back at it and you look at Reddit posts like this one, Supergirl makes $630,000 in its fifth and final weekend as a theatrical exclusive. $124 million worldwide. Folks, DC is officially a failure. And I'm not making it up. But hey, I'm interested in what your comments are down below. Let's take a look. Timmy Hayes says duelers. That's right. Caveat ties. Hey, Corp. Good to see you. Corporeal being is out there. He said commoditize. That's cool. That's right. He used a big word. El Skeletor. Billy Alcock. Wow, almost Sid Alcock. Might as well be. No, Miley Alcock was a bad cast. Going with a bad writer was also a poor choice. Gunn has proven that he shouldn't be in charge. He has. An inexperienced writer and a terrible writer, and and then having somebody come in to clean it up. The dialogue was awful. The adaptation was terrible, and he picked the worst possible story imaginable from the worst possible comic writer ever, in my opinion. You don't have to agree, but the CIA didn't help his comic writing skills. But it did get him in the door to destroying Western culture, which is what the CIA is for nowadays. I don't know. Maybe Who knows? Dominic Lopez, what is up, friend? Good to see you. They should have pulled that movie after the second week. Yes, they should have, Dominic. Indeed. I'm going to say Dominic, but I really grew up as a kid loving the NBA, watching Dominique. I always want to say Dominique, but there's no Q in there, so it's Dominic. Me and my monkey. Just remember, membership has its privileges, and you did. In fact, those of you who are of the green names over here on the chat, if your name is in green, you are a member of some such. And that means you have early access to videos, at least 3 a week. Usually, I give you them all. All the members get all the videos at least half a day ahead of time. So last night on Sunday Eve or afternoon, depending upon where you were in the world, you got today's video. And if you haven't seen today's video, you need to watch it. It's going to give you important context into the box office and the complete disaster that it was. Because despite the incredible performance and second week lack of fall off of only 30% for Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey, guys, there still wasn't $200 million on the table in the box office. That's a disaster. We're going to talk more about that on Midnight's Edge in the morning, coming up next over on the Midnight's Edge channel with Andre, Tom, hopefully Paul Chatto, and Chris Braley. And then I'm going to roll over to That Park Place Live to hang out with Pro and the gang to talk more about the box office over there. So hopefully you can follow me around. And you know what? This is the absolute truth from me and my monkey. R.I.P. DCU and MCU. I'm just going to tell you that. The DCU and the MCU are both toast. I really don't care about Doomsday. I don't. You're going to get a double bait and switch. I'm going to have more news on that. Maybe not the end of this week, but at the end of the next week. And, of course, as I go to the Vegas meetup for FNT, that's coming up here in what, just a week, 2 weeks? Goodness. A week. Is it a week? It's a week. No, it's 2 weeks. Whew, I was going to say I got to get in the car. Going to the Vegas meetup, then going to D23, where I'm being hosted. I'm not going to lie about that. Yeah. I'm not spending one of my own dollars on that trip. So just letting you know. Except, well, maybe for food. So now, mind you, I'm not being hosted by Disney. Disney doesn't like me. And the people that are going to be around me, there's a few of them that probably really don't like me. But that's okay. There are a few people there that like me. And I might get to see Archer Merchant. So I need to email with Archer. I got to go looking for that. Our good friend Erica and Raph. That would be Erica, though. I watched the Avatar Aang movie. It was pretty good. Well, a lot of people don't agree with you. I'll have to take a look at it myself. Yeah, this bombed harder than Akbar. Yeah. Someone set us up the bomb. Woo-hoo. Eric and Raph says, I need to rebuild our physical media, especially our Disney Classic collection that was stolen. Yes, you do. Coffee. Love coffee. Old Gamer says, super green. Okay, maybe not just green, but yes, you are green, Old Gamer. I appreciate it. Cinema Storm says, I am doing great. Coffee. Wait. Oh, talking to Ms. Pick Cafe. Okay. All right. Well, I'm doing good coffee right now. Made it myself this morning. Call me Dom. Okay. Dom. It is indeed when I see you, Dom. Thanks for being here. All right. Who else do we got out there? Mags. Mags says, didn't see it. Have no desire to, even if it's on streaming. But it's my son's birthday this weekend, so we'll go see Spider-Man. Yes. I'll be seeing Spider-Man, giving you my early review. So there you go. And wherever you go, there you are. I think Spider-Man is going to make the Odyssey look silly. Excuse me. Hairball. Silly. Okay, maybe that. Silly. It's going to make it look silly. Freedom Seeker says Supergirl should have been the movie shelved for a tax write-off instead of Coyote and Acme, which is coming out. So I think it's going to be great. Speaking of great, we got a duper chat from our good friend Flying Blind on a Rocket Cycle, who supports everybody. And I just have to say thank you for the $2 super duper chat. A $1.99. Now, you know, People were throwing around money last night. Did you see that over on the Pro Show? Longest Parsec. Did you see that? Did anybody else see that? People were throwing around cashola. Packing Protons was throwing it around. A few other people. It was crazy. Like I think it was nuts. Absolutely weird. Very, very weird. Cinema Storm says all Americans and the world say no more woke or critical race theory. Yes, DEI or any of the other baloney sausage that was being pushed on us by the globalists. You know, you got to get rid of those DEI pushing WEF folks. And those people are in the European area, not in our theater. We need to get rid of them everywhere. You know, there's a way to do that. I'm just saying. Look at these people. Putin says, you have too much hair to be on Midnight's Edge. It's true. I do have a lot of hair. But hey, I got to hang out with them on Mondays. I got to talk about box office. By the way, the return of the Tuesday tirade tomorrow on Tuesday. Well, that makes sense, right? Tuesday tirade on Tuesday. Yeah, me and Tom are back talking about entertainment, talk, and news. We'll go in depth on some of the things that you may have heard of a little bit from Comic-Con that really haven't been covered very extensively, and some other things, like some scoops coming out of Warner Brothers. That's right. We'll be talking about that tomorrow for the Tuesday tirade. Time to be set. We'll be talking to Tom about that. Timing. That's a lot of T's. It's a lot of alliteration. So there you go. The Grim Dark, otherwise known as Infiata, is out there as well. And the lovely Sherry. Ooh, woo. Good to see you. Sherry keeps changing up her pictures. How delightfully wonderful this young lady is. My goodness, my goodness. Oh, Jeff Elms, what's up, buddy? Says Doomsday looks like it's going to be let's throw as many big names into one movie as possible. Yes, it's Cameo, the movie. I know I say that a lot, but it seems like with these superhero films, that's kind of all they are anymore. And I hope people, you're gonna get as many people into one movie as possible. You're paying an enormous amount of money, over $400 million in production budget, $300 million in marketing. That's $700 million. Disney's already in a $415 million hole right now, cinematically for 2026. They've done over $3 billion in business, especially with Toy Story 5 crossing the $1 billion threshold, but that was their only real, truly successful movie this year. Hoppers was a miserable failure, so were many others. So Moana's a disaster. I mean, honestly, their output, they've spent equal to what they've made plus because of marketing. So they're $415 million in the hole right now going into the second part of the year. I'm going to do a video on that for tomorrow. And that means in order to get out of the hole by the end of this year, they have to earn another $3 billion in box office. And almost all of that is going to have to come out of Doomsday. There's no other place it can come out of. Hexed, it has no prayer of being super successful. It might be okay. It may break even. But Super Troopers 3, that's one of their releases, along with a few other things like Whalefall and other films people haven't heard of. All these things are going to start coming out. People aren't going to see them. Disney's going to dig a deeper hole. And they need to make $3 billion between now and the end of the year. At the end of the year, if they make $6 billion, they have a chance to break even. But it's really all on the shoulders of Doomsday. And we're going to do a full video on that, fully researched. I've got charts. I got all kinds of stuff. So there you go. And Texas says, for great justice. That's right. Look at all these people out there. Classic Wizard. Look at these people. I love it. Jilly Bean is in the house. Barry, the music man, saying hello, hello. Let's see. Terry Rose, the investor extraordinaire, is out there. Lorne Connor has to shave his hair off. Ouch. Yeah, Shorn Lorne. Guys, we need a meme. We need a meme and an emoji for Shorn Lorne. Shorn Lorne. I think so. Lorne got the shaving money. Wow, he did. Texas 84 was glorious last night. Of course, Valiant Renegade was feeling under the weather, and we just couldn't have a missing night show on a Sunday night. Now, there has been talk of me bringing back the late night Sunday night show, but we're going to add shows slowly back into the rotation. So Tuesday Tirade this week. In a few weeks, when I get back from D23 Expo at the end of August, we'll bring back the political show. Thank you for your attention to this matter. And eventually end up with an evening show. Right now, I have one evening show. It's with myself and Lou Wasserman's Ghost. That's right, the Hollywood Backlot with Lou and you returns this Wednesday, right after the Pro Show. So there's that. Oh, we can definitely talk about midnight snacks. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah. I think I'm going to start selling Nayamo bars. When we get the farm stand on the property, that's going to be one of the things we sell at the farm stand is the Nayamo bars. They're going to be not cheap though, because the ingredients on them are spendy and they take a lot of time. So a lot of labor on that one. Let's see. Yeah, Ryan Reynolds was walking around San Diego Comic-Con trying to sell this film. He actually popped in, crashed it. A lot of people didn't realize it was him. Jill is correct. So, yeah. Crazy stuff. Where are you going to find a KB Hug store? Right here for $5. CultureCasino Cash saying, we need Clint Eastwood, Cary Grant, and John Wayne types in entertainment. There is entirely too much soy. Ebenezer looks awesome. Welcome back, Johnny Depp. Indeed, Ebenezer looks great. I did a video about it. It crossed over 1,000 views, which surprised me because I thought that was kind of be a niche thing. But I'm glad you guys found the video. Ebenezer, played by Johnny Depp, it looks amazing. I'm very excited. I'm rarely excited. You guys have me pumped up. 91 Moon Knight in the house. Has everyone got to go and see Doomsday at least 5 times? Yeah. For as much money as they spent, think about this. Doomsday, what? Doomsday crossed $2 billion, right? $2.2 billion, if I remember rightly. They're going to put it back out with like 7 extra minutes of scenes that try to close the gap between Endgame and the film they're about to give us, which is Doomsday. How are we having a Doomsday after Endgame? And why are they erasing whole phases of the MCU? Because they failed. They failed a lot, not just a little bit. In fact, you know what? I'm going to give you numbers on that in the video I'm going to record today for tomorrow. So we're going to talk about just how much failure there was. There was plenty. 91 Moon Knight says Zendaya is going to be in Doomsday, so I'm passing on the movie. Oh, really? I think they'd want to have the new MJ in there. That's weird. We'll find out. We'll see. When does Spider-Man get a chance to fall in love with somebody that's a villain or is presented as a villain or even Gwen Stacy? Why haven't we seen Spider-Gwen other than in a terrible animation that everybody praises too much? I don't know. Why do birds suddenly appear every time? Vial says, greetings, watching you once again on Al Gore's amazing internet. That's right. The maker of the internet, which really isn't true. It was a combination government and higher education project that gave us the ability to exchange information. Dial-up access I worked on, and I worked on the expansion into broadband in my time of doing IT. That was a long time ago. I'm an old person. Yeah. Remember the 19.2 56K modems? You remember all those? Remember when your internet made noise with the handshake? I do. Libby Priest is going to see Ebenezer. A lot of people are. The positive feedback on that video, the comments, amazing. Very excited. Now it's known our friend Mac is in the house. Follow Mac over on X. That's right. Great place to get data and information like this. Devil Wears Prada 2 produced by Disney, did well at the box office. It did. In fact, it's one of the few exceptions to the disaster that was Disney's year. Look, I've got all the numbers on it. We are going to talk about Devil Wears Prada 2 from 20th Century, along with the other projects they released that you didn't know There were a couple horrors mixed there, horror films mixed in there. So yeah, it's crazy, guys. We've been subjected to some of the worst entertainment in decades, and it's been all done willfully over the course of the last decade, or 15 years if you want to go all the way back to, or 20 years if you want to go all the way back to Ghostbusters of Doom, which I don't. I don't know about you, but no thank you. No thank you. Let's see. What was it that I did? Oh, here it is. So, yeah. So, Devil Wears Prada 2 was one of the only profitable films for Disney this year. Mac is 100% correct. Let's see. I have the chart in front of me. Let's scroll up. I have the chart. It's crazy, but it did make a profit. Paramount and Universal, interesting. Paramount's kind of dead flat, but Universal's profitable, courtesy of the Odyssey. So they eclipsed profitability. Paramount Skydance, they're fine. Like I said, we're in weird times, kids. That's all I have to say about that. But Devil Wears Prada 2 and Toy Story 5 are the only positive things. Devil Wears Prada made about $120 million in profit so far. Hoppers lost money. Mandalorian and Grogu lost money. Moana live action is going to lose money. Devil Wears Prada made money. Send Help lost money. Ready or Not lost money. And Psycho Killer lost money so far. It's only been out for a little bit. Everything else is a problem. Outside of, again, Devil Wears Prada 2 and Toy Story 5, Disney has not had a good year. In fact, they are losing right now to Universal. The direct financial state, as I look at the numbers right now, for if you just compare the 5 major studios, right? Sony, Universal, Paramount, Warner Brothers, and Disney, right? You compare those 5. Universal Pictures has earned $3.13 billion year to date. The production marketing for all of their things was $975 million. The studio rental share is $1.165 billion, which means they are right now sitting on $190 million profit. All numbers that I'm going to present again in a video. Paramount Pictures didn't spend all that much at all this year, $0.3 billion. Their production marketing was $134 million. The studio rental share was $136 million. They currently have a neutral rating for the year with only $2 million in profit. Sony Pictures at $0.13 billion to date. That'll change, obviously, with Spider-Man. Has a production and marketing budget of $183 million. The studio rental share was $54.5 million. They are in the hole, $128.5 million, which will change after next weekend and the release of Spider-Man Brand New Day. Warner Brothers Discovery is about $500 million so far, spending $512 million on production and marketing. They have a studio rental share that leaves them with an enormous loss. They spent $164.4 million, or I should say, they recovered $164.4 million in the rental share, but lost $347.6 million. Supergirl was a big part of that. And of course, Disney, as I said before, the first studio to $3 billion for the year to date in total earnings, spent $1.854 billion to get there in both production and marketing. And then you have $1.3 billion in rental share, leaving them in a $415 million hole that I described before. So those are the numbers, and they cannot be argued with. So, yeah. Zendaya is not Mary Jane Watson. She's Michelle Jones Watson. That's true. But Sadie Sink, one of the 3 roles she's rumored to be, potentially, is Mary Jane Watson. Probably flung over from another universe to give Spider-Man a brand new day. Huh. Andy Masterson is here, the most talented man on the interwebs. So Culture was the cable guy. Not really. I didn't do it. Well, I mean, I did do some physical drops and stuff like that, but I did those in data centers or at pop locations or stuff like that. I never really did any of that. So Georgia Peach is dropping out. Toodles. Goodbye. U.S. Robotics. That's right. They should have got into robotics. They'd have been doing better. Randy Thodo says, I've got mail. You've got mail. Yeah. Interesting stuff. Morgan King in the house. Morgan, we have to talk, friend. I have to talk. We have to talk. I got to figure out how to make Kick work and other platforms. So we got to talk. We gots to talk. Dom says that Blade Runner 2099 is more DEI slop. I could not agree more. Yellow Flash is a great video on that. Jeremy talked about it. Everybody talked about it. I didn't. I'm going to talk about Supergirl in another video clip later today. Hassan Abrar, I hope I said that properly, says that the Odyssey is going to end up between 1.4. I think 1.3 to 1.4 is reasonable. On a pretty incredible spend and a first dollar gross deal that Nolan made. It's possible Nolan makes more money on the film than the studio does. Because he's going to take 20% off the gross profit. Or excuse me, not even the profit, the gross. Which is another conversation. Somebody said it was the gross studio take. No. It's a gross dollar take, as far as my understanding. Which included being right up there in line with what IMAX's gross dollar take is on all their PLF screenings. Which make up, at last report, about 30% of the total screenings were IMAX screenings for that film. 1/3. 1/3 of the screenings at a 50% price gouge from a regular screen. Going to be interesting. We're going to have to take a look at where the rubber meets the road. There's going to be a lot of post-mortem on that film. But there's that. Yeah, Avarice Carmageddon says, then Disney lost all the profit from Moana live action, Hex, and other trash. Well, Hex is coming out later this year, around Thanksgiving. It's not projected to be positive. Hoppers lost them, goodness, after a $250 million spend. The studio rental share was only $172 million. So that's like 100. They lost over $100 million on Hoppers. Blandalorian and Grey Goose, after their spend of $285 million between marketing and production, only pulled in $155.7 million of the rental market share. So this is how I'm going to break down films from now on. You're going to know exactly the dollars that the studio took home from their share. I'm not even going to care about the difference between domestic and international box office. I'm just going to give you the raw numbers. The production costs this much, the marketing costs this much, and the studio take home. Those are the only 3 numbers we should care about anymore, because they're the only ones that are even based in some kind of reality. Moana live action right now, their studio pulls only $92 million. $92 million for the studio on a $250 million production budget and $120 million in marketing. That's $370 million, and then you only get $92.3 million back. And skip me with your whole the marketing budget is something they can write off. It's still a black hole. You had to write the check to market the stuff. Between your A and P, it didn't work. Nobody wanted a live-action Moana, and it looked bad. again, everything else that they've released this year has been with the exception of Devil Wears Prada, has been kind of a loser. You had Toy Story, Devil Wears Prada 2. That's 20th Century, and that's a Fox film. That's a Fox product. And you had one Disney Pixar project that worked. Not good. The only thing Disney has left for the rest of the year, as I said before, are mostly stuff they don't control. Outside of Hexed, which is Disney Animation, which is a Thanksgiving release. That's a wild card. They've got The Dog Stars, Super Troopers 3, and Whale Fall. And then at the end of the year, you've got Doomsday, which I think is truly going to be a Doomsday. So if you look at it, after all the money they laid out, they're $415 million in the hole. In the red, just on theatrical releases with all their studios. Sure, they crossed $3.3 billion from the films they've released, but they're still $415 million in the hole. It's inarguable. And so the people that are going to argue with me, go do the math. Yeah, their parks are in disrepair. That's true. There's a lot of things falling apart for Disney. You can walk around and look at all the peeling paint, not just at Disney World, but at Disneyland as well. Disney World's going to have a harsher climate to deal with, but Anaheim, that park should be pristine. It always had been. And then you let, the weatherman in the door who didn't protect anything from weathering. And the Disneyland and DCA look as bad as they've ever looked. Not good. Bonnie Gamester in the house. Good to see you, dear. Yeah. Zootopia 2. Was a 2025 release, making $1.87 billion on a $150 million budget. And don't forget the marketing. But yeah, the film made that much money. The marketing split's a different number. We could definitely talk about that, but that's a year ago. So the devil got out of the movie business. No money in it. Well, yeah. Morgan's going to send me a message for your kick setup. Awesome. Sweet. Thank you. So we got smart people in here. I just want to say I love it. Who else is out there? San Diego Comic-Con lost its relevance years ago. Well, look, I think the MCU realized, the people at Marvel realized they needed to be at Comic-Con because they own comics. They own comic company. They make comic book movies. So skipping it was bad. It was bad. It was a bad look, and it killed a lot of momentum. Not that they had much anyway, because nobody wants to see a lot of their films, but that's why we got to see them back in a big way, and they made some really sad announcements, I'll say. And San Diego Comic-Con used to be great. I used to go every year. I haven't been in a long time, guys. That's bad. Yeah, I wonder if the park goers realize they're making up for the movie losses with $5 soda. You're finding soda for only $5? Wow, I thought it was $6 now. Let's see. Did Bob start the Bring Back Bob chant yet? Not yet, but would it surprise anybody? No. Dragon Bricks in the house. Great to see you, my Lego friend. Woohoo. All right, who else is out there? On the bright side, Dean, always bringing us the bright side. Thank you, Dean. Dean Krantz says, on the bright side at Culture Casino, if Doomsday fails, it may be the end of tights movies as we know them. They may go back to being niche, or they may go back to being affordable to make. Spending $400 million, even though it will make the next movie less expensive, maybe. How about just be responsible with money? Could you have gotten like Johnson back? Yeah. You could have got somebody else in there. You could even bring back Joss Whedon, and there would be a lot of whining from, the 19 blocks, but nobody else really cares what the accusations were. Nobody really cares about some of that stuff. The people that pretend to care are maybe hurting themselves. Really. I'm not kidding. Feliato is here. What's going on, friend? And Blackie is in the house. Movies are stupid now. You know what? I agree. Except, okay, so I'm gonna give you a little preview because I'm gonna do a review video of the horror movie that I watched over the weekend, and it actually stars somebody who's in our sphere. If you watch Snowdub, the puppet guy, the Cotton Council folks, if you watch Jolly and the team over there, you see a regular guest appear on some of the shows. Her name is Ginger Wolf. That's right. She is a fleshy, which means she's not a puppet. She's a real person. She actually stars in this horror, or one of the stars in this horror movie. And you know what? It's a throwback to the old-fashioned 70s, 80s, limited cast, just kind of dumb fun movies. What we used to call B movies, right? So there are a lot of those. I mean, Super Troopers still technically, Broken Lizard is really just like a B-level theater troupe. It's kind of in the same vein as that. It's not supposed to be high art. It's just supposed to be dumb fun and entertaining. And I'm going to tell you that my review will say it was dumb fun and entertaining. And it had all the old tropes from the 80s and 90s horror movies where they weren't afraid of showing you a little skin. They weren't afraid on playing on tropes. They weren't afraid of people that maybe were cast, not necessarily for their acting skills. So, but I had a good time with the movie, and the best thing about it, I say with no prejudice at all, was Ginger Wolf. Absolutely the best thing about it. And there's a guy that plays like the deputy or the deputy chief of police in the town where this is based in. I think he was also very good. Everybody else, including the writer, producer of the film, first of all, if you're going to make a movie like that, and this is a crowd-funded film, you need to have more social media. So, anyway. But you can find Ginger Wolf on Snowdub Entertainment, which is Jolly and her doing a show. They did one yesterday. It was a lot of fun. Yeah. To be fair, Iger followed the current CEO trend, destroy everything for short-term gain, leave the personal hefty paycheck. Yeah, with a personal hefty paycheck and let the next CEO handle the repercussions, which is kind of what he did when he bailed out for because of the China stuff. So, no sugarcoating today. You are correct, Dragon Bricks. You went at better days at San Diego Comic-Con. I did. San Diego, for a large chunk of my life, was basically my backyard. So, I've talked about it before. So, I think I might still have one of my recent Comic-Con badges hanging on the back of one of the doors in one of the guest bedrooms. Or maybe in the office. I don't know. I'd have to go look. Oh my gosh. Did you guys see Captain Shirt Pants yet? It's available. You can see it on X. Somebody put it on YouTube. It is hysterical. Because Captain America is Captain America. And he always has been. Even when he stepped away and let somebody else take the shield for a short period of time, they've always given him the shield back in the comics. They are terrified of doing that in this movie, at least based on all reports. I don't know for sure, but it'll be nice to be vindicated if that's the case. I'm just going to say Captain Shirt Pants, totally worth the watch. You can watch it on X. You can find it on YouTube. Some brave souls have put it out there. The problem is that there is some Marvel music in it, which is, I think, what the claims are based on. So Beer Fest is a fantastic movie. We watched it when we were doing movie watch parties with Comics Division as part of the membership offers that we did back then. I'm just going to tell you that was super fun. Beer Fest is a fun one. So is many of the other things. Those movies. Again, a good B movie, dumb fun is good. I love Showgirls. Terrible movie, super fun. Okay, I've got a lot of those. Got a lot of those out there. I don't know about the rest of you, but El Skeletor says I'd say Gunn did far worse than Joss Whedon. Definitely, he did. Joss Whedon did some, not so savory things, maybe some bad things. I agree. But everybody in Hollywood did. Yeah, they put guys in jail because they wanted to reduce their power and empower women's. And and then ultimately some of those things got turned over. They had to change laws in order to prosecute some people, which I think is disgusting, frankly. Anyway, it is what it is. I'm not going to defend the creepy behavior of the old Hollywood folks, the casting couch bros. No. Oh, by the way, it wasn't just the bros. The casting couch worked out for some ladies, too. The lady executives, used the casting couch. I've been told some very, very explicit stories. Yikes sauce. Our friend, the First Dragon Queen. Great to see you, young lady. You can go and check out her latest build. She's working on restoring an animatronic right now. Saying, let's see. The official dates of my visit are released in my last review. Getting what I need today motor-wise. Stay hydrated. 115 today. Yikes sauce. Hugs for all. Yeah, it's going to be toasty across most of the U.S. But you know what? We're back in the El Nino. So we will have more rain coming in here in just a few weeks. In fact, there is a trend in the desert Southwest for monsoons that's about to kick into full effect. So that'll be fun. Yeah. I love Batman and Robin. Horrible movie, but entertaining. Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, somebody like Blackia mentions, I love Porky's. Yeah. Me too. I mean, like I said, do not be afraid to lean into the low budget, lowest common denominator, dumb fun stuff. And again, the film that I watched that I'm going to review, and again, it is not for kids. It probably isn't for adults. It's probably just for that little sliver of your brain that's still immature, 16-year-old to 18-year-old you, maybe early 20s you. And it is exactly that. There's some skin. There's a plot. It's not very long. It doesn't take a lot of your time, a little over an hour. It's called Die Delta Pi, the burnt one, because I guess there were a couple of them. So it plays off of two previous films, which I didn't even know existed. And I'm a horror guy. So there you go. Yeah, really weird. Anyway. But you can actually rent it right now digitally for like $2 over on Prime. I don't know if it's on any other service. It might be. It might be on Tubi, heck. I don't know. But I mean, I'm going to do that review. I've got a review that I owe to my buddy, one of my buddies out there. 15 days about the global crisis. I'm going to do that one. This week is going to be like a lot of like independent reviews. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do at least 2 or 3 of them. So there's that. Who else is out there? Barry the Music Man's waving. Jill says, I don't subscribe to Apple, and neither do I. I did for a little while so I could watch For All Mankind, but that was that. Return of the Living Dead, one of my favorites. Yeah. Look, I watch all the Bruce Campbell films. They're fantastic. Holy cow, Tina's returned. Tina Guzman is out there. Good to see you. Culture, who is your favorite Marvel character in movies? Mine is Captain America. The Captain America movies were all good. Just my opinion. I think the Captain America movies were all good. No argument there. The first Avenger is still like the throwback movie that I'll put in. But, like of the new Marvel age that was represented well in cinema early on, starting with Paramount and their Iron Man movie, I would say that for me, it's Iron Man, Thor, and Captain America. Prior to the release of Iron Man, Captain America was probably my fave growing up. I had a bunch of Power records that were basically comic books on a record that were narrated, voice acted. They had Foley artists doing sound effects, music. If you can find those records, they are worth their weight in gold, especially if you get the booklets that come with them, because it was like a giant comic that you could follow along with. But I loved, there was one, there was Captain America and the Falcon, and it was for the comic book about the Phoenix. It was so good. Again, I mean, I grew up with Captain America and Spider-Man. On the DC side, it was Batman. I liked Superman, just not nearly as much as I liked Batman. Spider-Man was fantastic. Wonder Woman was good too. But that, again, back then, the artists weren't afraid of offending anybody. We need to get back to that point in time. I don't care what the sensibilities are of the poisoned and the so-called enlightened and the overly indoctrinated who like to claim themselves as educated. Not a big fan. I mean, I like people who are qualified to do what they do, and there is a purpose for education, but not indoctrination. So there you go. Dean Krantz says, one of the reasons I dislike Peggy Carter as his love interest. Really? You grew up at a time when, you guys had all those books. So a complete run from Kirby and Lee issue 100 until I stopped collecting in 97. See, and I stopped, I'm going to give away my books. They don't really have the value they used to have. Collecting used to actually come with some inherent value. They've devalued all that stuff. You know what? Clownfish TV on this is correct. It is cheaper to fly to Tokyo Disneyland, and you could be closer to the original. This is all true. Tina Guzman says, I didn't see the Falcon movie. I just didn't want to. You know what? You didn't miss anything. Captain Falcon is not as good as Falcon. Sam Wilson is the Falcon. Not Captain America. Steve Rogers is Captain America, just like Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Sorry. Bonnie Gamester says, for me, Iron Man was the last really good comic book movie. Yeah, I think it was the baseline that they always needed to shoot for. The two successive Iron Man films kind of fell a little short for me. That early Hulk, I think that was the Banner Hulk. Oh wait, no, it was what's his name? Ed Norton. No, thank you. But you know what? Ruffalo didn't do much with the character. And the more you get to know him, unfortunately, the more you dislike him and the character. Let's be honest. All right, folks, we have now gone into extreme bonus time on the 60-minute daily. We are an hour and almost 15 minutes into it. We are going to do the exit today with little Hobo Gandalf. So get ready out there. Hopefully I can put together the materials and videos that I want to for you for later in the day. Let me know what you think. You guys, all of you out there, for the 100 and something of you out there, I just want to say thank you for making today great. Consider becoming a member of the channel if you're not already a subscriber. Just hit subscribe. That part's free. And turn on all notifications so you don't miss anything. We do have another member first video today. And again, I'll be going over all of the stuff I created to talk about what is and isn't profitable about Marvel and Disney right now. So, with that being said, be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, and until next time, see ya. Just with a little more Hobo Gandalf.